Welcome back to Sweet Science Boxing and MMA here in Hawthorne, California. I assure you this is not the Against the Ropes podcast, but we do have the crew from Against the Ropes, also the commentary team for All-Star Boxing, a local promotion here. And I guess I should just work my way down the line. On the end, we have Christian. Do you go by Christian or is it
Christian Mosqueda? We're starting to go by Simos now, just since we have two Christians.
You have two Christians?
Yeah.
So you're Simo.
Simos, yeah.
Simos. Okay, I got to make sure that I get that right. Simos and Christian.
Rodriguez, yeah.
Yeah, but is there a nickname for you, or is he just making that up?
What was the name?
C-Rod?
Yeah.
It's already taken, I'm sorry.
It's already taken? C-Rod. Okay. And then, of course, down here we have Giovanni, or do you go by Gio?
Gio.
Giovanni's
too long.
Giovanni's too long. So we got Gio down here on the end. So the Against the Ropes podcast crew, thank you guys for being on today.
Thank you for having us.
I know you guys took this last minute and everything like this, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, well, you seen what happened with Mars, right? So we had to.
Did you watch Joyce too? Yeah, so did I.
That was kind of hard to watch.
Yeah.
Both guys looked gassed out after like the second round.
Permain Stiverne was 273 pounds.
Yeah. Right away, you knew that he just came for
I thought it was going to end in that second round when Joyce hurt him. But he did a good job at surviving Stiverne.
You know why that bothers me, though? Because did you guys hear all the quotes he had about the imposter who was in the ring against, so he goes out and is like, oh, no, I apologize to my fans for the imposter that showed up for Deontay Wilder. That was the imposter. And then he shows up at 273 and it didn't even need to go as many rounds as it went. His corner could have stopped it before that if they wanted to. He's just getting pummeled. Yeah. There's no point to it.
You know what's funny about Joyce? If you watch the fight and if you could change the color into black and white, you'll think that he's like one of those characters like back in 1980, like the way he fights.
He was doing well with combinations. It's easy though. I don't want to say easy, but I do want to say that your combinations will look better against an opponent like Stiverne who's out of shape and not moving
and not punching back
punching back, right? So that's not to say it's easy. I'm sure he works hard. He's a dedicated individual. He wouldn't compete at this level if not. Yeah, but it definitely looks better. What's that?
Silver medalist.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So he's a talented guy, but I think a lot of that is in this case the opponent who's in front of him.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Canelo Alvarez versus Rocky Fielding or whoever Ryan Garcia fought on that card. You know what I'm saying? It's like some of it is them and they put in a lot of work and dedication, but some of it is those guys who they're competing against.
It's good matchmaking.
But
if you want to call it that, yeah.
Even then, I didn't see any head movement by Joe Joyce. He still got caught by some punches.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I mean, Stiverne was just swinging wildly at times, and he was still catching them. So
there was no compactness in Stiverne's shots at all. They were all very wide, kind of looping shots. You know what I mean?
But that's a good question. But I think honestly, Tyson Fury has probably the best head movement from all heavyweights.
Tyson Fury has good head movement for a lot of weight classes.
Not just the heavyweights. Yeah.
No, homeboy's talented.
Speed, slickness that a lot of the some of the fighters in the lower weight divisions don't have.
I think what it shows is, if you look at the punches landed on Tyson Fury, that's where that manifests itself a lot. I think Vladimir Klitschko averaged 6 punches a round landed.
Yeah.
Right? That's madness. 6 punches a round. No wonder that fight was so people, for lack of a better term, I've heard people refer to it as boring.
Yeah. Even the fight against Deontay wasn't landing many punches. I don't know if anybody has the stats
he was also down there. He was also down at 4.5, 5 punches around or something like that. Yeah. So they're both generally speaking, heavyweights average less than I think 9 punches around against Tyson Fury landing. Right. So the dude is slick. Yeah. Fury is a good boxer. Period. I can't disagree with you. I'm done sort of counting him out. You know what I mean? I've been critical, not that I dislike Tyson Fury as a performer, but obviously at a certain point, myself and I think many people looked and said, this is not realistic, right? You've been through a lot. Your body has changed. It's not realistic for you to come back and compete at this level. Yeah. And I was very wrong. What can I say? I was just wrong. You know what I mean?
Who did you have for that fight just curious, for Tyson and Wilder? Who's your pick before?
I picked Deontay Wilder. And I actually made several statements on this, including I think I posted one on Facebook, a written reason why. But essentially what I said was Deontay Wilder, I had no expectation that he would outbox Tyson Fury in any match. So I think when people say, for instance, Deontay Wilder was exposed, I think that's silly because none of us thought he was going to outbox Tyson Fury, did we? It's not exposed, right? He does what he did, right? Like he's not exposed. Nobody thought he was going to outbox Tyson Fury, right? So I had no expectation that he could outbox him. The only question is, can you avoid the punch for 12 rounds? Because he carries the power through all 12 rounds.
Yeah.
Can you avoid the punch for 12 rounds? And I thought someone in Tyson Fury's condition who keeps his hands down very frequently, likes to use head movement without guard blocking, you know what I mean, things like that, that he couldn't do it, that he couldn't avoid the punch for 12 rounds. No. And in some ways, I was right. He couldn't. He got caught twice.
Yeah.
And in order for him to stay in that fight, particularly in the 12th round, he looked like he was out cold, right? Yeah. Like he had to show something that I didn't know that he had personally. Like,
but what was crazy is that even when Fury was knocked down, he was able to make it into like those 9-9 rounds.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He was like, he got up in that last round and made it very competitive for the second half of the round after essentially being out cold. So when I looked at that fight, I picked Deontay because I said, if it goes the distance, then Tyson Fury wins. Right? But at the same time, I don't think he can avoid the power shot for that long. And that's really the only question. It's the same thing with Luis Ortiz. Those scorecards were not correct. Luis Ortiz was winning that fight.
He was winning that fight.
He was winning that fight.
He was winning.
The scorecards were not correct. Luis Ortiz was winning. He maybe lost 2 rounds, which are the rounds where he got knocked down. Right? And so you look at that fight, he takes the shot, right? He goes down. Was Deontay Wilder exposed if Luis Ortiz outboxed him over 12 rounds? Like, no. Did anybody expect him to, like, it's not exposed. Like, so, yeah.
I think maybe it was like the fact that it took him really like 12 rounds to really
catch him. Yeah.
Hurt Tyson Fury, right? Because even in the 9th round, I believe it was, Fury got up and boxed well the remaining remainder of that round.
Yeah. That's true.
It's not like he was, like you said, like really hurt. He was still in his senses.
He probably won that round.
Yeah, and usually when Wilder connects, he really hurts the guy and gets him out. Like,
so why did you end up having
9 out of 10 referees would have waved it the second he hit the deck? You might be right.
You might be right, yeah.
A lot of referees might have said, I think Jack Reese made the right decision. Right? And I also think that you can prove to yourself through slowing down YouTube footage that he beats the count just fine. Yeah. It's not a long count.
He
right?
beat the count.
Yeah, he beat the count. You were
when
doing
he was against the ropes,
he beat the count. He beat the count.
And I actually ran into Jack Reese because he was the referee for the HBO's last event.
Yeah.
And I told him, like, hey, man, you did a great job. Like, fuck whatever everybody's saying, stuff like that. And he handshaked me. And he said, yeah, thank you for saying that, because a lot of people are, like, giving me on that. And, like, a lot of people who say, like, especially in Wilder's camp, the seconds lasted too long. But I will say it did feel long when I was at Staples Center watching the fight.
Yeah, I was
there. I'm like, whoa.
I was at Staples too. I thought he was done for. I went back and there was all this long count stuff where Deontay Wilder is posting this long count and everybody says, "Oh, it was a long count." Yeah, you can watch. The great thing about this is they have a clock on the screen at all times when you watch it on the broadcast. You can actually go on YouTube, watch the knockdown, and slow it down to 25%. And just watch the clock tick. That's all you have to do. He beats it.
10 seconds are 10 seconds, but the thing is, like, with the magnitude of the fight, everything that was going on, it felt like it was long because there was so many things happening every single second.
Yeah, he beats it. Like, I encourage you guys, go, and for those of you on the chat, go and watch it. He beats the count. He's up.
Yeah. But I think it's the first time that I hear a boxer say, "Oh, the referee can't count right, so that's why I didn't win the fight." It's like, come on, dude.
Did you guys have a problem with the draw?
Yes.
Yeah. You had a problem with the draw?
Yeah.
Okay. Unanimous. We got a unanimous yes.
Hey, you were
There's not one Deontay Wilder fight.
You were at the fight, right?
Yes, I was. Tyson Fury. I can say that much. His brother started professionally boxing not too long ago, a few months ago or whatever.
Yeah.
But talking about that, Alejandro Rochin, the judge, he was actually a judge in the Brandon Rios fight.
What?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I saw you guys chasing down judges and stuff like that.
Yeah. He was judging last week at the Santa Cruz fight.
That gotta be everywhere.
Yeah. So which one of you guys was chasing that was you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you were chasing the judge down?
Yeah.
It's on YouTube if you guys want.
Yeah, do you want to talk about that, Chris? We went to